All right. Hello, Tabby. Hmm. Wonder why that's not updated. How are things going? Good afternoon. Good morning from me. uh, so, need to get to Sylvan Notes and see where we left off. Hmm. Hi, Tinglish. Oh, well, that happens. There's no need to worry about that. Dialect split. I don't have any footnotes. Okay, let's see. Did we get our schwa insertion rule set up? Okay. Final vowel deletion happens. Final consonant deletion is where we're at. Right? I did the nasal mutation. I did. Only in this dialect we have final vowel deletion. And where did I actually put that? Final vowel deletion. I put it up here. So let's just double check that. Yeah, so it's not deleting. There we go. Okay. Now, final consonant deletion. Every dialect has the final consonant deletion. Oh. And we have. So the simple way to do this. In the environment for a word boundary. Now, my question would be: do we want to incorporate some compensatory lengthening there? If we do that, have that consonant. We have a situation of, right, we'd have why is it not apply? Oh, I don't think. Oh. What happens if we have? Right. If we have this, ja, I think no compensatory lengthening when this happens. Actually, I just had a brainwave. So here we go. This only when consonant deleted. So if we're going to have this happen in, if we're going to have consonant deletion also happen in the night dialect, I think it makes sense to have the schwa insertion only happen in that context. So, and then I'm going to say, yeah. In fact, and then I don't think we end up with clusters this way. Actually, so this is what we can do. Yeah, we can have okay, this is going to be yeah, we can just take out this long. Yeah, just take that long back away in that case. And this can be how it works in all of these dialects. Okay, that is... Okay, I'm going to have to be creative with this one. Because I don't actually want... Actually, I don't think I need to... Okay, so... Actually, you know what? Screw that. This, in the Don dialect, we can get a long schwa happening. This is... I don't think it's a big deal. We can have a long schwa in some cases here, right? It's gonna be strong anyway. We're gonna have the final consonant deletion happens here. And then we define this. Yeah, so we're going to do this. What happens is only if it is long. Ja. So that's that part. Worked out. Okay, the H epenthesis mutation. Okay, so this only happens in dawn and dusk. And what we have is like there's an H appended when you have two vowels together. Crucially, this is applying yeah, so oh, I don't want to well, we can test that there for a baseline. But what we want to have happen here is so where's our nasal mutation? Oh, but where's our... I just want to get our Lanishan mutation... Right. So we want to have... Hello! How are you doing?
What is this giant string for?
That is my Ethernet cable. It gives me better internet when I'm using the computer here.
Why is it so giant?
Well, it has to reach all the way from the bedroom to here.
What?
Yes. Do you want to say hi to people watching? H. And let's get that. And this needs to be actually...
Daddy, I want your phone.
You want Daddy phone? Hold on. Are you a bee?
Oh my god.
So, I want this to only happen at a word boundary. I don't want this to happen in other cases. So, okay, so now we see different things. Why does my... Oh, that's part of my lenition. Aha, aha, alaha. Yeah. Whereas here we get... Well, it would be nice if I had my test stuff here. Ava, Abba, ava, aha, aha, aha. Okay. This doesn't have the nasal mutation. So, one thing I have realized. Let's see, where is the nasal mutation? Let's see, which dialect has nasal mutation? Nasal mutation should occur in dawn. And where did I put that? Did I misread that? Where does nasal mutation happen? It's supposed to happen in dawn. Huh. Well, did I put it in? I put it in day. Put it into dawn. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, so the thing. So gotta figure out. If we put it in here, there we go. So it needs to happen before final vowel deletion, final consonant deletion. Something I have realized after doing this, we're gonna have to figure out how we're going to handle this because actually, none of my suffixes. Let's like we look at our nouns. We got these, right? We get pronouns. We got verbs. None of my grammatical suffixes end with a nasal. And that is potentially an issue, right? We're in a situation, we go to prepositions, like no final nasals. Demonstratives, no final nasals. So we get into a situation where when is the nasal mutation even going to occur? There might be so I may have to actually drop the nasal mutation because it's just not going to happen. Or I may have to like deliberately insert some situations where you get a final nasal somewhere. I'm going to have to think about what I'm going to do with that, right? Um, we still have an H insertion that's going to happen. And we still have a lenition that is going to happen. Lenition's going to happen all over the place. But just the nasal mutation, I'm not sure if it will ever surface, in which case it basically didn't happen. So, gonna have to think. Right? Gonna have to think about it. There are edge cases where, let's say, and also, so the Don dialect doesn't have deletion of final vowels. So you can't even, like, delete, like, this final E or this final E and get a nasal there because it doesn't happen in Don. It's gonna be a tricky one. It is something that was only happening in Dawn. So it was a distinguishing feature of Dawn. But if I end up having to drop it, it's not a big deal. Dawn is still going to be distinct in other ways, right? But I definitely need to think about, if I want it to happen, then I need to find some coda nasal somewhere. There is an edge case where we have inanimate nouns could end with a nasal, right? Because they're unmarked there. The question is, the thing about that is, like, if we go into the pronouns, well, then there is an ending. There is a vowel at the end. If we go to the demonstratives, the key thing is grammatical words need to have this happen somewhere, right? And, like, because of the way the demonstratives work, maybe I could have a demonstrative that turns into a definite article that is new, that isn't seen here. Numerals, I don't think anything ends with an N. Hi, what are you up to? Do you want to say hi? No? You want to say hi to people? No, that's okay. You don't have to say hi. What are you doing?
What's that?
Yeah. So, let's go back down here and I'm going to make a different color highlight. Okay, and I'm going to say, Because a thing that we need to talk about with a mutation like this is so in the Celtic languages, these have become grammaticalized, right? In a certain way, they only occur in certain morphosyntactic situations. It's not like every time two words are put together, uh, you get the mutation happening. And in order to have that happen, it has to happen often enough that it gets associated with particular grammatical words. If it's just going to be like edge cases, then it's likely to just drop off and not happen. So, yeah. So we'll just leave a note for that. We have done the H epenthesis. And then schwa. So, schwa. So, we have two different kinds of rules. This is a split between light and dark. And I'm going to say we just lose all of our schwas. We don't have stress represented in the dialects right now. And that is a tricky thing. Because I suppose that I could go back and make sure stress is marked. I want to see how did I handle stress in the previous one. So, yeah, we have stress assignment. Right. So I have syllables are cleared. What happens if I just add a diacritic for stress? Is that going to break this? Got that going to be a problem for Lexergy? I don't know how it handles. Okay. So I have this diacritic for stress, right? I have the diacritic for stress. Did I delete it somehow? Oh, I clear my syllable. If I don't clear my syllables, what happens? Ah, okay. if I instead do this, right? And then we have heavy, not heavy. Just okay. That's clearly not happen. That's not doing anything. Why do we not? So, if someone out there knows how in Lexergy to clear this type of feature, this syllabic feature, one of the syllabic features and not the other, I would like to know. I need to get rid of my heavy feature, but keep my stress feature, so that I can uh, transfer the stress assignment over to the the next stage and be have information about stress. Yeah, schwa does shift differently. We already worked this out in two dialects. We have it harmonizing, and then two others it just is always going to ah. So for now, let's I don't know if that's a good term. I don't know if people talk about fortition of vowels, but anyway. So here, is this, well, can you do that? Um, no, that doesn't happen. Okay. It just says syllables clear. And it still has the heavy marking. Okay. Um, Let me try that. Let's put it there. It's not applying. Where are you seeing that? Because their Slavian example doesn't have this. In the new interface? Yeah, so here's the thing. So they have that. Syllable and heavy becomes not heavy. Okay. but it's not doing it for me. Let's see. Why is that incomplete? How did it define? Oh, what? There's just okay. Yeah, it's not working at all. It's not doing anything. It's like it clearly works in their example. Okay, so in their example, if I remove syllables clear, then yes, it did actually remove that. Hi, Madeline. Yeah, I'm just fighting with Lexergy because I want to adjust this so that I can get rid of the marker for heavy syllables and still preserve the stress marking because I want my stress information for my dialects, right? So you just jumped in while I was just dealing with like technical stuff with Lexergy that's just not working. So anyway, because if I can get that stress marking, right? It really needs to be on the syllable. But I don't know what I'm doing differently than the example does. Maybe if I put it in a different place. Hi Miles, how you doing? Yeah. So it's just not working. The only thing I could think of is right. I know. I know what I can do. So if I copy over my syllables and my stress assignment rules, I need my stress assignment into the dialects Yeah. Then I'll just reassign stress in the dialects. And that's just going to be how I do it. Really? So you just have plus heavy goes to not heavy? But I can't get that. Okay. So, Miles. I'm just going to say, let's try it here. Plus heavy goes to Miles minus heavy. Goes to... Do I have to make this a binary feature? Is this what I have to do? Or, okay, how do you... Okay, how do you define a binary feature? I don't understand. Okay, let me go... So... It's plus heavy. Okay, so... yeah, it's... Okay, it's plus heavy. We're defining a bunch of plus heavy. And then after that, we're going to go does nothing. Oh, syllables. Syllables are reapplying. So my syllabification rules are coming back. This is the problem, is my syllabification rules. Hi, Tupper Hunter. I am fighting with Lexergy right now. So I have found my problem. My syllabification rules are cyclic. They are reapplying after every operation. So when I delete the heavy, the syllabification rules come back and put it back on. How do I stop that from happening? Just for the heavy stuff. Okay, you go edit your video. you redefined your syllables. Okay. So what I need to do, I have to go back here. And I just need to remove the heavy from all of these, right? Will that do it? That's what does it. Now, let's just see. Okay, you do have to also explicitly remove the heavy. Okay. This is so annoying. I wish there was a better way to do this, but I mean, I I do understand why syllabification rules are cyclic like this, because that's like resyllabification happens very often. I just would like an easier way to do this. Um, let's see. So the thing is, do I need to, because this is a syllable level thing. Okay. Export, import word stages. Is it going to be problematic? Oh, okay. If I do not have the syllabification rules, right? Yeah. I think I still am going to have the simpler syllabification rules in all of my dialects. Right, in order for syllable level stuff to attach. Which I'm okay with that. I was just very annoyed with like not being able to remove the heavy feature. And we're not going to use the heavy feature in the dialects. Okay, this is great actually because yeah. So, let's okay. I'm going to go into I'm going to go into my Sylvan inflection work and grab some like example nouns. so that I can like work with. So let's go my constant roots. And my vocalic roots. I don't want to do trace it. Oh, error. Okay, so I need to make this into a. This needs to be a consonant in the consonant zone. See you, Miles. Have a nice brunch. Right. So let's make sure that we have things sorted out properly. So actually, this gives me something I can do. I want some syncope and some. I want to actually do some some schwa deletion stuff, which I can do. I can now do. So, um, schwa deletion. So something I can do now is I can say, just say schwa. Well, how do we define schwa? Well, let's just say, and how do I, so I need to figure out stress reduction, not stress. Right. So this will happen at the beginning of words and in the middle of words. This is happening after we have this thing happen, right? Or we could even define this as if it occurs before a consonant, right? And it's so. This will happen to any unstressed vowel. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to actually have. I'm going to modify this, the final vowel deletion, and it's going to be unstressed vowel deletion. And then this happens. And then I'm going to take a roll See how many others. I don't have a dice cam right now. You guys can just trust me. Okay. In two other dialects. Let's actually say that it only spread this way. Split cells. Okay. Oh no, I don't need to split these cells. Oh, okay. Well, let's just get this going and we'll test it quickly. So this is only going to happen in a non-final context. Okay? In this one. And in this one. In this one. We're going to replace our final vowel deletion with this rule without the restriction on environment. And to deal with your thought here, Tinglish, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get batitu, batitu, titu, 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 okay. We're gonna do a small test of this and see, like, do we want to deal with all of these clusters occurring? Oh no, line 161, what happened? Oh. Oh, I never, okay. Well, we'll come back and do the schwa partition thing later. Right, so it doesn't apply there. Yes, so... Okay, I think what I will do... I'm gonna make it a little bit more. I'm going to adjust this so that I don't have to deal with resolving a bunch of constant clusters, because I don't really want to deal with that much change at this stage. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to define several environments where this occurs. At the beginning of a word, okay, happens at the beginning of a word. It also will occur when there is already a vowel. Yeah, let's put a then here. Should be curly brackets, right? But not at the end of a word. Let's see if I can. I have consonants at the end. Okay. Um, yeah, why is this being deleted, huh? Okay, this is... Okay, this has to happen before my long shift. Well, uh, why is our syllable structure being weird? Syllables. Yeah, I can have vowel and consonant. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't have that happen. So let's backtrack here. Right. Okay, so I want a... Oh, this is really being difficult, huh? Ici, but ici, ici. Why is stress assignment working that way? Oh, this should be... Oh, this is weird. Let's, interesting. Passa through. I think it doesn't really matter too much. So I think okay. So the way I have it written now, it really doesn't get... It doesn't really go anyway where unless we've got pretty... Let's actually do what this form would be. Bath fajita. Bath fajita. Okay. Okay. So if you can see here, Buttabakitha becomes Buthbakitha. There we go. This I'm happy with, actually. So this is going to be, and we're going to, in all of these, we're going to have this happen before long shift. And then we're going to have the additional situation where in this case it can happen at the end of a word, just not before a consonant, right? And so let's test this in all of these. Oh, where was unstressed deletion? Oh, okay. Basfachisa. And all right. Basfachi. Okay. But in this one, Basavahitha. So the winter, the night dialect is going to end up with longer words. Now that we have that happening, I don't think I want to clear syllables. I want to see the stress at this point still. Now we have schwa fortition. We have schwa. Very simple. Right? This is going to be the one for Batavachitha. Bathvachi. Uh, there nothing shifted stress. My stress is inherited. Oh my. Oh, see. Okay. My stress is just inherited from the previous one. And then for this one, we're going to want Right. Apply that. Oh no. Oh, that's because this is not the right place. Okay. B bo tate be tate tate bu tate. Okay. And these ones, what we want is schwa fortition is going to be two things. It's schwa still. And I need to look at the documentation. Um, yeah, nasal. Yes, okay. So, so it needs to be here, and then we have. So, Should, I guess I add the tongue root and it should fix that. Okay. Then we go. And then we're going to have a. Then. The same thing as here. Schwa goes to a. Okay. So this will happen to both of these. And yeah. Okay. So we have an assimilation rule happening here. A vowel harmony rule happening here. Very limited vowel harmony. Sile. That does not happen. Whereas here, we don't have that happen, right? Just all becomes ah. Okay, I need to tha. I need to figure out. Okay, so these should be right. And the, the. Okay. What did I decide for that actually? So they should be fricatives here. Okay, so this same change. Just happens. Nasofricative denase. Oh, okay. So what happened here? Why is that not applying? Okay, so that's just a weird workaround I'm dealing with. Okay, that's fixed. Okay, okay, so we're done with that. So the two things I'm going to have to deal with are potential for tonogenesis, right? We were going to think about tonogenesis with our voiceless vowels. I would probably want more than just voiceless vowels trigger a high pitch. So we need to figure out if that's something. Oh goodness. And I need to figure out whether this, I think I'm going to have to wait until I go start doing some morphosyntax in order to find ways for the nasal mutation to actually happen. Right? I need something that has a final nasal that's somehow grammaticalized in order to make this happen. This part, I want to think, and maybe I run a patron poll. I'm going to have to think about what are the sources of the of of tones if I'm going to do tonogenesis. I really honestly I am going back and forth whether I want to do tonogenesis or not. When we do coinization, like if I say that some things have tonogenesis, some dialects have tonogenesis, some don't, it's going to be interesting to rectify that. And the thing is, I want both stress and tone in a way. It would end up looking like certain kinds of quote unquote pitch accent systems, I think. But I need to think about that. I have ideas. Oh, and then the one other thing I want to do, one thing I never figured out is what's T to turn into. So or not T, but what does theta turn into? So it will remain a theta here. And then I want to decide between some dialects turn into S, some dialects turn into H. Oh, we can do this at the end. But I think I only want theta to exist in one, but like it will get like hyper preserved in the Koine. Oh goodness. Are you guys hearing that? We're having some troubles. Um what if we just stipulate H here and S here? Yeah. Does that work? Kind of like this idea. So we would be so we're also having the H insertion happen. So what's going on? Why can't I? We just have a wholesale. I think it becomes, in this one, it will become H. I think only between two vowels. But in these ones, it just always becomes S. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, we probably want to resolve some of what happens with palatalization. Yeah, Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. But we need to come back here. And then we'll be good. Um, I do this because there's some cases where theta occurs in clusters. I want to preserve that. So I have this only occurring in certain places. Hi, how you guys doing? I mean, I'm about to sign off. So we've just figured out theta. We've figured out a bunch of stuff today. I think we're almost done with sound changes. I think next week, I'm going to decide on um, whether I'm doing any tonogenesis and what I will do with tonogenesis. It may actually be easier for me to find ways to get rid of the voiceless vowels. Oh gosh, people just popping in right at the end. Yeah. Uh, Once again, I once asked my wife if I could do 4 hours, and she said nope. But yeah, so we've got most of our sound changes done. I'm just gonna think about tinkering with what to do with voiceless vowels. Do I want to make them do tone, or do I want to do something else with that? So I will shelve that for a bit, and maybe I will bring that up like next time and sort of like figure that out, and then after that we should be able to move on to morphology. 4 hours. Well, the thing is, if you have a 4 hour stream, it's like people come in and out whenever they want to. Yeah. Um, this like Twitch streamers stream for like 4 to 6 to 8 hours, but they're just playing a video game. This is a different kind of show than that, so I don't know if it would be as useful. But anyway, we've got this done, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. So, thank you all for watching, and I'm gonna say happy conlanging.